another episode of The Soul Finder with Kathy D. Carter. And in Kathy, I'm going to do what I do quite a bit. I'm going to make this episode about me.
All right, let's go.
And I realized something about me actually multiple times, but it recently came up. And I immediately thought of you, and I thought, what would Kathy say about this?
Uh-huh.
And I've got my own prediction in my head on how you're going to respond to this. But do you know what a bucket list is?
Oh, yes.
And I've determined I don't really have a bucket list.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's kind of rare. And I was trying really hard, especially this week. I had two clients that brought up bucket list on their podcast. And I couldn't come up
with anything to put on yours?
Riding a hot air balloon. That's not really, I can do that within 30 minutes right now if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So
it doesn't have a strong desire or pull.
No, it's not like
something you really want to do before you leave.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And if I do it, great. If not, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
There's not that ultimate, I want to fight a bull or, I don't have anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And a part of me thinks that's kind of maybe sad in a way. But there's another part of me that's like, man, you've had such a great life that you don't need anything else. You don't need anything else to fulfill your life because you're doing what you want to do. Mm-hmm. So I don't know which side of the fence I'm on there because I can go both ways. Like, dude, you're not passionate about anything. But then I know that I'm passionate about things because, I know me. There are things that I'm very passionate about, but it's not...
riding in a hot air balloon.
Yeah, and it's not bungee jumping at the Coliseum or anything like that. Not that ever happens, but...
Well, interesting you brought this topic up because I also brought it up this week to some clients. And this one particular client gave me a very quick dissertation on how that was not appropriate for her to do.
What?
To have a bucket list or make one up. It was not a good spending her time doing that because it gave her anxiety.
Okay.
Because it was like she had to get all these things done before the end of her life.
She needs to adjust the way she's thinking.
Yes, you're right. That's true. But this is a person, when they're at that point, you can't tell them that.
Yeah.
You've got lots of steps to get up to that point before you can say you got to adjust your thinking, because this person is usually one that has so much control in their life that the seams could pop any time.
Mm-hmm.
But I found that very interesting when you said bucket list, because some time ago, it's been a few years, wrote up a bucket list just because I didn't have one and the movie was out.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I need a bucket list. What would be on my bucket list? Right at this moment, I swear to you, I can't think what was on my bucket list. It's not like there is something that I'm dying to do that I haven't done.
And that there's a part of that that's fantastic.
It is. That's true.
Like, okay, the whole question, if you won the lottery.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I would go do some things then, probably.
Well, what would you do?
I would probably go sit on a beach.
Okay.
A deserted beach with maybe one or two males and not have anything else except food delivered, the chef, the trees.
The hammocks?
The trees, and just rest.
You can kind of do that now.
It's not the same as being on an island that is quiet, away from electricity, away from mankind. You're just submerged in nature, just like your beautiful picture up on the wall.
Okay, well, that's pretty significant. Okay. I can't think of anything significant, in quotes, that I would really do. I'd be a lot more secure, maybe.
True. You'd be secure. But would there not be something you would want? You could just walk out the door, everything was taken care of.
I might get an RV and...
Just travel the country?
Just travel the country for, a month or two, maybe.
See, I have no desire to do that whatsoever.
But, the truth of the matter, I can do that now if I wanted to. Kind of. It wouldn't be as secure. I'd have to figure out a way to fund it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I wouldn't say, I've always wanted to go to the Parthenon. Or, I've always wanted to go to Mount Rushmore. But you know what? I've got satellite TV. I got streaming. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I feel about some of the places because they're so crowded. You get there and you're in a huge crowd, mass of people that's walking through these places, and that's not what I would want to do.
Mm-hmm. See, now you didn't go where I thought you were going to go, and I'm not going to give you a chance to do it on your own.
Okay.
Because I really thought that you might mention some past lives. But you know what, Mark? Maybe you've experienced all that stuff in a past life somewhere, and you don't feel the need to do it anymore.
I have wondered that. I did. It went through my mind, and it was like, are we going to go there or not? I don't know that much about it. Okay, I won't mention it yet. That's kind of how it went through my head. Because is that true? It could very well be true, because think about it. If we come into the planet Earth to experience everything, that means we've been the light side, we've been the dark side. We've been the assassin. We've been the house burner. We've been, oh my God, the thief. We have been all the good things. And because it's only through experience and having lived it that you understand it and you know it. The more of that experience and understanding that you have, there comes a point where you start to realize that happiness is not money. Happiness is contentment and fulfillment, but it's not with material things. And when that starts to hit a person, I could almost write these stages that we go through. And when we are in those stages where materialistic things don't really matter, that doesn't mean that you don't want the best video equipment. That's not what that means. It means that you get what you want. Because when it's, I have to have the top of the line, that's ego. When you're just getting what you need that is the best for what you do, that's a different story.
That's a great point.
Yeah. It's a huge point. Mm-hmm. Because there is a whole different vibrational frequency there on those two levels. And when you find that materialistic things don't matter, it doesn't matter my couch is $15,000 instead of $5,000. When you determine that it doesn't matter to you if your house is decorated by a professional or by a really good person that you like her decor, so she does it for you. Only cost you $2,000. It's totally different, and it's you attaining your development for yourself. And if we have been here for thousands and thousands of years and been through all of this stuff, it's kind of like, I just love the show Lucifer because
I've seen it.
I didn't like toward the end, the last series or so wasn't all that great, but Lucifer was a TV series that he had come up from the devil and this deal with his dad being God and another son. Yeah. It was, but it showed human life with the devil there and all the devil falling in love with a human girl. But it showed so many, and they had a psychiatrist. It was so cool because they showed so many human type experiences and worked through them, and they also referred to, like, I can't think of the lady's name and character, but she would say, oh, it doesn't matter. We're here. We'll be here. We're here forever again anyway. It doesn't matter that you're gone. We're moving on down. And it was like the number of times she had already been here, a number of times that death didn't matter at all. It was just a part of the process. That
That's
movie,
very interesting.
oh, it hit so many things. I really enjoyed it because it had a different angle on everything
Well,
in
because
life.
that's and you know this. That's where I'm at. And I've always been there. It's just death is just part of the process. And whether you have faith or not, doesn't matter. You're only here for a set amount of time.
Right.
And I mean, my whole goal is just not to be sick.
Yes, me too. And it's absolutely learning. This is what I am totally believing now. I am believing that the health of our body is totally 100% dependent upon us learning to handle energy. Because everything is energy first. I have known this forever. I have never put all the pieces together, but it is the sound of music. It's the sound, the frequency. Once we get those right in the body is well.
Interesting.
And that's the whole deal with the 432 frequency. Instead of it being the 440 that they think Nazi people
talk to
put
me
out.
about this. I don't even know what you're talking about.
So there's the theory that Nazi people decided to change the 432 frequency, Hertz frequency, to 440. And in doing so, what is believed to have happened is, Dr. Yamamoto does the science experiments where he puts the sand on a magnetic plate and he shows what water crystals would look like at these different frequencies. Well, to see a 432 and a 440, the 432 is complete triangles, and it's a completed picture, whereas the 440 is a very erratic picture that's not, the triangles aren't connected together. They're left open at the corners. And to apply that to a person, the person's going to be scattered and not settled and not peaceful. So they think that that was a war tactic to help unsettle people. And it's still, to this day, orchestras use 440 instead of 432.
Interesting.
Yes, very, very interesting.
And actually believable.
Because if you will listen to the two different musics and just see how you feel yourself, I noticed a huge difference.
Well, I've become a believer in energy. I don't know if you've realized that or not. But and the thing I like about what you teach, and please correct me if I'm wrong, and I've been wrong about this, but it's not really that far out of a theory, or it's of a thought process. It's really not. A lot of it is, I'll say a little bit more than just common sense. But when you break it down, it makes sense.
It's just energy's first. And the more, think about it. Think about the old pictures. Remember how they would draw halos around the people's heads? Well, why do you think they drew those? They could see them, don't you think?
Never thought about that.
Why
Okay.
why else would they draw them unless they could see them?
I just never understood artists, so.
And if they could see them, that means they had a higher vibrational frequency than what we do.
Yeah.
So if we could figure out how to master energy like they obviously did, we could do a lot of other things.
Okay, I'm reading right now. Common bucket list items.
Okay, what have we got?
Since I don't have a bucket list.
We don't have a beach one?
No, we do on this one. sleep under the stars.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's good all the time.
Okay, to me, that's not. I can do that right now. I live in an apartment. I can go to my parking garage and go to sleep on the hood of my car in the bed of my truck. Sleep under the stars. Visit your dream destination. Once again, to me, that's not.
Yeah, you don't have one.
I don't have one, and if I did, you know what I would do? I'd go visit it. Mm-hmm. To me, a bucket list is something
right
that's kind of unattainable.
That you have to plan
situation.
for.
Yeah. Go back to school.
Oh, God.
Once again, to me, not if I want to go back to school, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to school.
Yeah.
Learn how to paint. I can't paint. That's kind of. Can I be taught how to paint? Or is that something that you're born with?
Oh, that's a very good question. I think it has to be decent at it. It has to be in your treasure chest of goodies.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that you can't learn it.
The next one, and I'm just going to tell you this right now. I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
But if you or anyone listening falls under this category, then we're not going to be hanging out together. On your bucket list is reading 100 books in a year.
Oh, gosh.
Sorry, no, that's...
You could do that. Why could you not do that? 100 books.
It sounds daunting.
That's like 2 books a week.
Why? Why would you do that anyway? Jump out of a plane once again.
Yeah.
Go on the most romantic date ever.
Oh, that'd be fun.
It would be, as long as...
It was a good romantic date. The best one ever.
Bake a cake from scratch.
Wow. I've done that plenty.
I haven't. I mean, I've used cake mix. Is that baking?
No, that's not making it from scratch. Doesn't count.
I had to crack the egg myself.
No. Well, you're close. But
and blend it or
you
mix it.
You got to measure
or
the flour, all the ingredients.
Why would someone want to do that?
You got me nowadays. I mean, we're changing.
Play a sport. Okay. Get something published. Well, that's getting easier and easier these days.
It is.
Yeah.
And I have. Yeah.
Not that
it's easy.
Not,
no, it's easy. I have a little young one that's wanting a book. I think just so it may be ego that's driving it, but they want their book published.
You know what? That's another topic. Is ego a bad thing?
Yeah, right. And should she get her book published? I think she should, don't you?
I'm writing that one down.
Okay, we'll do that one.
Volunteer. Okay, this kills me. Did I complain to you about this last time?
Do they have on their bucket list to volunteer?
To volunteer.
Oh, that's bad.
Did I tell you about this last time?
I don't think so.
We saw each other. I go to a bunch of networking groups.
Okay.
Please stop me if I've told you this, because if I told you, it's been on one of these podcasts. But this happened last month. One of the networking groups I go to, and these networking groups are small business owners. They stand up, give their little elevator pitch about their business for 30 seconds. And I like the people, believe it or not. I'm not a fan of networking.
I'm not either. That's why I don't go.
And this group does something a little bit different that I do like, is they have a question of the day.
Oh, that's good.
And usually the question is something, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? Something like that, to get to know. I mean, they're basic questions.
Right.
So the question of the day for this one day was, if you had unlimited time and unlimited resources, what nonprofit would you dedicate your time and money to? And which seems like a very good question. I mean, and I was like the 11th to go. I was like, there are 10 people in front of me. And by the time it got to me, Kathy, I was pissed. I was livid. I was so mad.
What were they saying?
They were just answering the question. They weren't doing anything wrong.
Right.
And they were saying, well, I'm real passionate about animals. And if I had unlimited time, unlimited resources, I would do something with an animal shelter. I would, or I'm really passionate about single moms. And if I had unlimited time, unlimited resources, I would do something to help single moms. Oh, I mean, great call.
That's good, yeah.
I'm passionate about homeless people. And if I had unlimited time, now a normal person would watch all that and think, okay, that's cool. Kathy cares about animals, or Jane cares about homeless people. To me, by the time it got to me, I'm thinking, you know what? If you're that passionate, do something now. Don't wait. You're never going to have unlimited time and unlimited resources. You can do it now. So it got to me. Now, this is just a couple weeks after the Allen Premium. By the way, if you're listening nationwide or worldwide, we record in Allen, Texas, and there was a mass shooting at a premium outlet mall in Allen. This was 2 weeks after that shooting. And I was so mad at that group.
I can imagine.
And they weren't doing anything wrong. They were answering the question.
Right.
So, and you know me well enough. When it got to be my turn, I said, y'all are going to have to bear with me on what I would do with unlimited time and money. But it cost a lot of money to own a gun responsibly. I mean, the gun cost a lot of money. The ammo cost a fortune. The class that you have to take to operate your gun, that's not cheap. The gun range membership so you can go practice is definitely not cheap. And if you want to store your gun properly, you're going to need a safe. It's expensive to be a responsible gun owner. And there's lots of poor people out there that can't afford to be responsible gun owners. So I would start a new nonprofit raising money to arm the poor. And the looks I was getting from the people in this group, I said, okay, you don't have to take that seriously, but take this seriously. We're all sitting here at lunch saying, if we had time and if we had money, this is what we would do.
Yeah.
We don't need to wait.
We have time. We're sitting right here.
Go do it. And I pointed to another guy in the group. I said, hell, we're eating lunch right now. We could be spending this time rather than eating lunch, going and volunteering. And by the way, me and Justin, we're going to stick around here for another 4 hours and drink after lunch. So, I mean, we're being a little, go do it now. Don't wait. But I was really mad. But then I started thinking about my charity. And I started thinking, that's not necessarily a bad idea. But anyways, volunteer should not be on your bucket list. Volunteering should be something you're doing right now.
Yes. I would agree.
See your favorite band or singer. Visit all 50 states. Learn a foreign language. Okay. Overcome a fear.
Well, now
that is good.
That could be a good one. That would be evolving your soul before you go out.
Yeah.
And fears are what keep us trapped.
Take a train. Bucket list. Okay, here's the lesson. Here's what I'm getting out of this. Just like I was saying about volunteering. Most of these common bucket list things you can do.
Yeah.
They don't need to be on your bucket list. You can knock it out in a year.
Yeah, even if you had to save up the money to do it.
Well, a lot of these things don't really cost
that much.
A lot of money. Eat at an expensive restaurant.
Well, that depends on who's writing that. That could be a little farmer that doesn't get in the big city. You're a big city guy. You're used to big restaurants.
Okay. Get a tattoo.
May not have tattoo parlors around.
Oh,
little towns do not have them. I'm talking little 300, 400.
If you can get a tattoo in prison, you can get a tattoo in a farm.
I'm talking about places that are 500, 600,000 people. They can have dreams. Maybe that somebody that wrote this article, you don't know.
Travel solo. Look through a telescope.
See, they've never been able to look through a telescope.
Oh, come on, Kathy.
They're wanting to look through the big Hubble telescope, probably.
Well, let's read the Where is it? Look through a telescope. Whether it's a telescope at home or viewing heavens, the
Does
heavens,
it say?
through a world-class observatory. You can do that. Here's my... Don't wait.
I would
Don't
totally
wait.
agree.
Just do it.
Because one of the greatest life lessons that I attained just recently for myself was that don't wait. Because I have found now, and I have verified it enough times to know it's true, when you have that urge, your intuition and your body is saying, let's do this, and you're inspired, you've got some excitement around it, and you're wanting to try it, and you're wanting to do it, and of course you keep putting it off. There is a time when that dies, and you don't want to do it anymore. So you have missed that growth of your soul in this lifetime because you let that time in that space and time pass you by. You should do the things you want to do while you have the want to do them. And never pass it up. Do it now.